Welcome witches, wizards, and muggles alike to another episode of Espresso Patronum, a series where I review the magical world of Harry Potter as I read the books for the very first time. I'm so excited because today is the actual first review episode of Espresso Patronum. I'm so excited because, of course, I started reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm so excited! It was so good. So I'm gonna review it today. It wouldn't be Espresso Patronum without coffee. I will be drinking Folgers coffee, and I guess it's not really that special because I drink that all the time, but I have my Carlsbad Cavern mug, which I think is very cool. When I first started reading this book, my hands started cramping after finishing the first chapter. Like, it literally started cramping up. I think that kind of tells you how long it's been since I actually read a book, which was, a while ago. So I think where we're going to start with the review is all the big stuff, the big ideas, the big characters, the big notions that I had while I was reading this book, because those stuck out in my mind more often than the little things, quirky moments or the little sassy moments, because this book was quite sassy. I liked it a lot. So yeah, let's start there. One of the biggest commentary aspects of this book and of the movie, and just the Harry Potter series in general, the point system. They focus on the point system so much in the first book, in the first movie, but then it just trails off to oblivion. The reasons they award points is very interesting to me, because you can win points for doing something good in class, or for Quidditch. People will look down on you if you lose points for them. Like, Harry lost points and everybody's like, oh, Potter. Whoa. So, what? Why is everybody getting so butthurt about points? Is there a points rubric that people follow? Like, oh, if you stop a troll in the girls' bathroom, you get 5 points. But if you stand up to your friends, which is a more courageous act, you get 10 points. Looking at you, Neville. Good job, bud. But is there a rubric, what gets you more points? I don't know. Okay, my next point, Dumbledore. Where he at? Dumbledore seems to be one of the most central figures in the Harry Potter universe, especially to Harry later on in the books, but in this book, I realized he's not really in the book that often. His name is thrown around a lot. Dumbledore is there when he's delivering Harry to the Dursleys, and then at the beginning banquet, and then with the Mirror of Erised, and then at the end, he's there, with Harry in the hospital. His name is thrown around so much, he's more of an omnipresent figure. And then also, it's kind of an interesting comparison because Harry's supposed to be the boy who lived. He's a representation of surviving dark magic. Dumbledore is this omnipresent figure that only kind of appears to Harry. I don't know, I'm seeing religious themes here. Is that just me? I'm gonna run out of coffee. When Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out in theaters, 2001. I think I was about 7. I was little and I didn't really understand the emotions of everything. I just thought it was really interesting and cool with the whole magical universe, and I was just more enthralled by that. But reading through this book, I was very emotional when it came to Christmas, and then at the very end of the book when, Gryffindor wins all the house points, even though I have some commentary about the point system. I think a lot of people go through a lot of hard times, and reading this book, I'm not in the best of places in my life, but reading this book and seeing that Harry, a boy who hasn't really been shown a lot of love throughout his whole life living with the Dursleys, but being so appreciative of the kindness of his friends, of his teachers, having that amount of love and receiving it and being so grateful for it. It was just such a beautiful thing, because he hasn't been tainted by all of this hate and nastiness that has, perpetuated through the 11 years of his life, and that as an 11-year-old kid, he can still look at the world with wide eyes and wonder and just so much love and kindness, and it was so beautiful. Harry, Hermione, and Ron, are they just extremely clever, or are wizards generally not very clever people? Depending on who you are, you can be very clever, like the kids are, and get through all the enchantments that all the professors put up to guard the Sorcerer's Stone, Or you could be like Quirrell, who is a professor at Hogwarts, but he needed help from like Hagrid to try to figure out how to get through towards the Sorcerer's Stone. I think Hermione might have even said that even the greatest wizards could be very unclever. The power that you have as a wizard, does that like counteract like how clever you are? Because maybe that's why Voldemort is so powerful, because he seems to be very clever and very powerful. Cleverness and powerfulness, maybe that's why Slytherin always wins the House Cup each year until like this book. Because, you know, they're clever, they're cunning, they're prideful, like, I mean, they win. There's a lot of things in the movie that just didn't make sense to me, so the book, reading it, things made more sense, especially with Harry's relationship with the Dursleys. The first 3 chapters of the book basically focus on Harry's relationship with the Dursleys, you know, kind of mapping out how his life has been before he's going off to Hogwarts. We spend a significant amount of time with the Dursleys, so I'm glad that there was a lot more clarification on how Harry gets to platform 9 3/4, actually how he's picked up from platform 9 3/4 at the end of the book. Because of reading this book now, I kind of understand why I was put into Gryffindor by Pottermore. I could relate so much, I think mostly to McGonagall and Neville. I really feel like I am Neville. I just related to the boys so much. I really feel like I always teetered on like Hufflepuff and Gryffindor. I think Neville also teetered on being Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, and he was put into Gryffindor. So wow, I really relate to Neville. And then finally, one thing that definitely made more sense by reading the books is how Hagrid became groundskeeper and keeper of keys at Hogwarts. Like he was a student at Hogwarts, which, man, he must have been a huge student if he's half giant, half human. It's interesting that you could be expelled at Hogwarts, but they're like, hey, you're pretty good at keeping everything afloat over here. You want to live here and be the groundskeeper? So, you know, that was pretty cool. Although there were a little bit of things that made a lot more sense, there were a lot more things that didn't make sense when I read the book. The academics of Hogwarts. Their form of punishment. They get all up in arms about kids being out of bed past, you know, a certain time at night. And it's like a student's out of bed and then they're all chasing them. And I mean, why are the professors out of bed at that time? Don't they want to sleep too? Harry, Ron, Neville, and Malfoy are all caught out of bed. Oh, you've been caught out of bed? Guess what? You think getting caught by us is scary? Your detention is in the middle of the night, at midnight, in the Forbidden Forest, where you could possibly die. Especially you, Harry. You could possibly die because who knows what's out there. I just don't get it. Like, why would you endanger children's lives because they were out of bed past a certain time? Is that an extreme form of punishment? I don't get it. One thing that I'm glad they got rid of in the movie of the Sorcerer's Stone was Peeves, the poltergeist, ghost or whatever. At one point, I dated a guy, and on this date, we were talking about, oh yeah, even though I haven't read the Harry Potter books, I know a lot about Harry Potter, I said. And then in the first question, he's like, oh really? Then who is Peeves? I don't know. Who is Peeves? Peeves is just an annoying poltergeist character that just doesn't deserve any recognition. I'm sorry, I didn't like Peeves at all. I think he's pretty useless in the book. Ooh, okay, and this I didn't get. The centaurs. Harry encounters, you know, 3 centaurs, and Hagrid tries to talk to them, but they're all stargazing up at the sky, and they're like, the prophecy, and blah, 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 the stars. Oh, Mars is burning bright today, or something like that. They just seem to be very dramatic, so concerned with the skies and prophecies and all that jazz. But it got me thinking, this whole series is about the boy who lived and the prophecy that he would one day maybe defeat the Dark Lord, Voldemort. With the centaurs looking up to the sky, looking to the cosmos, foretelling the future. But it just made me wonder, is there like a deep belief system that wizards have? Do they believe in God? Do they believe in the Force? Do they believe in the cosmos? I have no idea. So I'm really interested, is there actually some ever-present force or energy that's going on that, you know, caters to a whole religious belief system, or am I just looking into this too deeply? I feel like I am just going off the rails on this one. Come on, Sierra, this is a children's book. Even though I have all these questions and commentary about the book, I did have a bunch of favorite moments in the book where I kind of like LOL'd, and I was just like, Damn, that was so good in this book. I'm a sassy person and I love sassy characters, and Ron and Harry are so sassy. Harry, especially with the Dursleys, he's so good at the sassy clapbacks and then like running away. Ron and Hermione, love at first sassy comment. The history of Quidditch was so fascinating to me. I wish they kind of developed that more in the movies. Of course they can't because it's a movie. But in the books, reading about it, I love learning about Quidditch. I was a history major, so I think all that kind of stuff is fascinating. This next comment that I have, something that I really loved. Oh my god, that's so crazy. I actually opened up to where it was gonna be. Ron, Hermione, and Harry are in Professor Flitwick's class, and they're doing the Wingardium Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. There was one part just before that moment that I choked on my own spit. It's the buffalo spell. Swish and flick. Remember, swish and flick. And saying the magic words is very important too. Never forget Wizard Barufio, who said S instead of F and found himself on the floor with a buffalo on his chest. I don't know if that's true or if it's a rhyme, but when I heard that, I thought it was the most hilarious thing in the whole book. It was so funny, just imagining like a wizard, instead of saying like Wingardium Leviosa, he says Wingardium Leviosa, and a huge buffalo just lands on him, like lands on his chest. I thought that was the most hilarious thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, it probably didn't exist. There's probably a little trick. Just think about it for a second. Maybe I'll find a picture. With this book, I had a greater appreciation and love for Hagrid because his descriptions were amazing. The way he interacted with the kids was great. And I love that he has a pink umbrella as his wand. He's not really supposed to have a wand because he was expelled from Hogwarts, but he still practices magic with this big pink umbrella, which I think is fabulous. And also, he's such a proud mom to Norbert. Just carries himself with such adorableness and like huggableness that you just want to, he's like a big man that you just want to hug. Just want to hug. I think one of the most famous lines from this book really resonated with me. I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. It's the discussion between Harry and Dumbledore when Harry's still in the hospital wing. I've been thinking, sir, even if the stone's gone, you know who. Call him Voldemort, Harry. Always use the proper name for things. Fear of the name increases fear of the thing itself. I'm just gonna put that right there because I think it really resonates with a lot of what's going on in real life right now, and I think it's just an important quote to, kind of extract again and just, throw out there. So go Dumbledore. He's a pretty wise man on that front. I'm definitely a lot more proud to be a Gryffindor than I previously was. I thought, oh yeah, I'm Hufflepuff. I'm not really Gryffindor, but I think I'm definitely a Gryffindor. And I'm very proud about that. I was like, oh, yay. Okay, guys, so that is it for my review of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. In the next episode of Espresso Patronum, I will be reviewing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I don't have the book cover, so I'll insert like a picture like right here. I hope you guys enjoyed my little comments and questions about Harry Potter and that you enjoyed this review episode. I'm really excited about this series. I know it took me a long time to read this book. I'm glad I didn't rush through this book because I got to really enjoy all the details that came with this book. I really wish I had read these books when I was little, when they were first coming out. But I do think I have now a more adult appreciation of this book and this series. I think one of the most rewarding experiences about reading this book is that you read this book from the point of Harry, an 11-year-old boy. He's really optimistic and he's so very brave and so very clever. This childlike wonder and nostalgia kind of comes back to you as an adult, and so I'm really glad I actually read this book as an adult. Please remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more Disney related content, and now Harry Potter related content. Yay! I know my last videos haven't really been Disney related, but I hope you enjoy my content nonetheless. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Take care. Bye!